Hi, my name is Shakai Jones, and I am a 2017 Dorn South Global Development Scholar, and I am placed in Malawi. I will first start off with talking about the greetings. I think I've become pretty familiar with some of the more popular ones or the most used since I've been here, and those would be Moli Bwanji, and that is good morning, and Dilibwinu Kaya Inu, which is I'm good, and how are you? Zikomo, which is thank you, which you use that a lot, you say Zikomo. Chintinje, which is the wrap cloth. Obviously wanted one of those as soon as I got here, especially for my trips to the village, so had to learn how to say that in the market. And speaking of the market, you want to know how to ask how much, and that is the Lama Zangadi. So the demographics of Malawi would be broken up into three different parts. You have the north, you have central, and you have south. So in the north, I've spent some time in Zuzu, which is one of the big cities in the north, and central, which is Lilongwe, which is the capital, south, which is Blantyre, which used to be the most popular city before Lilongwe was created in the 70s. The population size is about 17 million as of 2015. The official languages are English and Chichewa, and the population size is actually pretty big compared to the number of people who are actually under 14. So there are 50% of the population is actually below the age of 14 years old, so a pretty young population. Malawi is surrounded by Zambia, Tanzania, and Mozambique, so they're kind of split up against the Lake Malawi River, which I've spent a lot of time at. So projects and initiatives from World Vision, you have WASH projects, which they're doing a lot of borehole drilling, safe water storage and latrine building. You have maternal nutrition and child health programs, so a lot of hygiene training, a lot of mother support groups, and then obviously your education programs. So impediments to World Vision development, I've found that logistics is one of the big things. It's kind of hard to coordinate. Organization is also an issue. Communication and tradition. I think tradition is a big one within the field. People are not really interested in changing what they've been doing for years, what their parents have been doing, what their grandparents have been doing. So I think that's one of the things that can pose an issue to World Vision development. Living in the community would be, I think for me, it's a little different because people assume or expect that I'm part of the culture and I know what's going on, but I've learned that families are very close-knit. So a lot of walking, a lot of manual labor. You have to be aware and be respectful of cultural norms, so if you don't know them, you want to make sure that you're paying attention so that you're not going against what's the daily basis here in Malawi. And I think also when living in the community, you want to make sure that you're trying before you decline. So that could be anything from SEMA to trying any of the local foods or any of that. You want to make sure that you are trying them before you decline, because that could be considered pretty rude. So social and environment determinants of health. Poverty is obviously a big one. So 68.8% of the population roughly live below US dollars and $1.25 a day, which is not very much, and about 81% of the population is also living with under $2 a day. So that can be impediment to any type of developments as well, and having good health. Education is also interesting. I've learned that in order to get into secondary school, you have to take a test that determines if you actually be able to go. So that's a big one. So 4 in 10 children born to mothers with no education at all. So that definitely has implications for health. The living conditions, whether you'll be able to have safe drinking water, improved toilets, road traffic conditions, those are all different things, social determinants of health here in Malawi. So professional and career development for myself, I've learned a lot about communication across departments. I've learned how to be very patient. I'm improving on my cultural understanding and relatability, and especially time management. So cross-cultural understanding, I think we're still doing a little bit of work on that. But I think at work we all understand what the type of dress is, how decisions are made, the different powers and hierarchy, time difference. I think we talk a lot about that. In the West, we're pretty much on time. Here, it's okay to not show up to a meeting or, to come late. You'll just reschedule it and it's no big deal. Communication, you have to slow things down when you're speaking in your native tongue, and I think we both understand that and are pretty okay saying, hey, what was that? Can you repeat that for me? And family, I think here there's not really a such thing as distant family. I think you have your immediate family, and that's who you stay with for the majority of the time. But in the U.S., you have multiple different levels and different people in your family. So human-centered design, I think I haven't had much time to deal with that, but I did experience it with Dr. Opong when we visited a village in Shisi where they were doing some borehole drilling, and he started to ask the village people to just come in. He asked their opinion, he asked for their suggestions and their support within the development of the borehole. I think that was pretty important because when we first arrived, there was a border between the borehole drillers and the people in the community, obviously for safety reasons, but being able to bring them in at one point, that was pretty important. And I think in the future, I'll continue to try to involve the community as much as I can and receive their input before I, make any final decisions. Yeah.